Firstly, I'll start by apologising. It is a late preview video. I know that. I've had a lot of technical issues lately. My laptop has decided it's a perfect time to cark it. So I'm doing this straight off the phone. So if the audio is a bit off, I apologise. But I thought it's better to get it out there than to not do it at all. But we'll get into the game. And I mean, what more needs to be said? Dion Presti's 200th game. We're coming up against the Cats. They've been a close rival over the last 4 or 5 years. We've had a lot of great encounters, some not so great encounters. Obviously, the finals ones have been the most memorable for us. But this is the test that we need, I think, right now. Yes, we had a win over West Coast last week, which it's really not much to look at. It was a win we needed for maybe a confidence boost, just some points on the board. And I think if we drop that game, that's not only season done, that's embarrassing. So we've moved on from that. We can't dwell and be, super happy about that win and be complacent with that, because in the grand scheme of things, it's not a good win at all. So we move on, and we have the Cats this week, which are a massive test. They've got a few outs, which I think really help us. So the outs that I'm aware that they've got at the moment, off the top of my head, they've got Paddy Dangerfield won't play, Cam Guthrie won't play, DeConning won't play, and Brandon Close, whatever his name is, I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, Close won't play either due to suspension. So they're very handy players that are missing, and I think this is the real opportunity for our new recruits, Taranto and Hopper, those big-bodied mids, to really get in there and get their work done, because with the midfielders that they're missing, those bigger bodies, this is a chance for them to really take advantage of that and take over this game. Now, there's been a lot of talk in the media the last couple of weeks. I know myself and a lot of you guys that have messaged me especially, we all think that they've done a terrific job this year, and they've lived up to our expectations at least. The media says different things, Kane Corn specifically. We're not going to get into that because, personally, I don't buy into it. I think it's just all clickbait, and it is most of it. So not too worried about that. But if there was ever a chance to really turn that stigma around and change the narrative, this is it, Dusty, I thought he's building every game so far this year. He looks like he's ready. He's this far off from breaking out. Like even last week, 27 disposals and a goal, and I reckon he dished off about 3 or 4. He could have kicked himself as well. So, arguably could have had 27 and 3 or 4 goals by his name. And then all of a sudden we're saying, oh, geez, how good's this? So I think we're going to need him big time to stand up and kick a couple of goals. I have said before that I think we're not quite getting the scoreboard output that I'd like from him. So I really want to see that this week. Same as Jack. The tough thing for us is obviously going to be shutting down Jeremy Cameron and Tom Hawkins. I think Hawkins, Noah Bolter has covered. He's really matched up on him well in the past. I think Bolter plays well on these bigger, stockier defenders. He does a good job on them. And then Jeremy Cameron, I mean, he's probably the best player in the competition right now. How do you stop him? I really don't know. I think Nathan Broad, even at Grimes, maybe are probably the blokes that I would put on him, because they can push up the ground with Cameron, and they'll be able to stick with him when he runs back, because that's what he does. He burns his opponents running back into the 50 as well. But I think both those boys can, because Broad can run all day. He's athletic and he's fit, and I think the same with Grimes. So maybe one of those two would take him. Probably more of a Broad for me, because then Grimes can play on a smaller forward, a more athletic forward that he does that a lot. So I don't know. It'll be an interesting battle regardless in that sense. And I think Jack's going to have to step up. I mentioned it before. I think Jack's going to have to step up and kick a few goals again. He was goalless last week. Mind you, we didn't need him to, really do a lot. But I think we're going to need it. I think we're going to need him to step up big time. So it's going to be an interesting battle. We tend to play better football against the better sides. I mean, you look at the games we've had this year. We've been in just about every game. Even the Sydney game, up until 3/4 time, we were neck and neck with the Swans. It was really that last quarter that blew us out. Melbourne game, we're winning at the beginning of the 4th quarter. Collingwood were right there. So we've been in all these big games. It was really Gold Coast that we probably dropped, not to their standard, but below their standard. So hopefully, playing against another good team will make our standards lift and we play a bit better football. And who knows? I don't want to. It's tough because on paper we don't win this game, but I don't know. You just want to have faith, don't you? As there is a Richmond supporter, you want to have faith that we can dig deep. And as Dimmer Hardwick, likes to call it, it's normally a bit later than this in the year, but it's big boy month. And this is really the beginning of big boy month for us now, because we've got Geelong, we've got Essendon, we've got Port, all at the G, 3 games. The last two are more of the winnable ones you would imagine. But if we knock off Geelong, you get 2 wins in a row, then all of a sudden that confidence, that belief is back. You go into the Essendon game, dream time at the G, full of confidence and, and hope. And if you win that one, it's all what ifs, obviously, so you can't read into those too much. But a win here could spark something really special. So I'm excited for it. I'll be going. And that's another thing, speaking of, I want to say, I can't talk because I wasn't at the game on Saturday. I was playing my own game of football at the West Coast for the West Coast game. But I want to encourage everybody, and I know this is a late video as well, so it's not going to hit too many people, but I want to encourage as many people as possible to get going to the games. I mean, our boys feed off the energy that the crowd delivers, and when we're not showing up to games, like the Marvel crowd for Gold Coast is pretty poor. West Coast, by all reports and what I saw on TV, was pretty poor. I know the time slot didn't suit a lot of people. Me personally, it didn't suit. But the weather wasn't great either. But I don't know. I think we've just got to get there. We've got to get to these games. I think the West Coast game is the only one I've missed in Melbourne so far this year. I've been to every other game. I'll be there again tomorrow night or tonight, depending when you're watching this video. It is late, like I said. So, look, let's get out there. Let's cheer on the boys. Because I believe my theory has always been, if you're there to support them when they're winning, you're there to support them when they're losing. And at the moment we're battling, there's no secret about that. The media can say what they want, but internally we know we're also battling. So, what better way to get through it than as a supporter base to come together, a little bit less negativity towards it, and let's get together and sort of push our boys over the line, because I think we make all the difference. You've seen it in the past when we were successful, when we were playing good football, that we were the difference. The difference in between winning and losing sometimes was us, the fans, the supporters. So let's try and get back to that. I know it's not easy. We had 5 losses in a row and then an average win against West Coast, so we're not in the best spot. But there's only one way to come out of it, and I think it starts with us. Obviously, it starts with the players more importantly, but definitely we help. So let's look forward to a big game. This could be a real statement for us as well if we can get over the top of a really solid side in Geelong. They're playing unbelievable at the moment. They're 5 on the trot. We had 5 losses in a row. They had 5 wins in a row. So they're flying. But let's deflate their bubble a little bit. Burst the balloon, whatever you want to call it. Let's come out strong, have a big win. Let's get to the G. It's going to be a nice day tomorrow. No excuses. So let's get out there, support the boys. And hopefully, I'm talking to you in a few days for the review after a big Richmond win, but we'll have to wait and see. So until then, go Tigers.